Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 716 for Tuesday, the 28th of January, 2025. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby 360G, and joining me today is...
Hello, Switch.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Again.
Yeah, just the two of us. Oh dear. Nick, I don't know where Nick, what Nick's doing tonight. Probably shagging. Graham is doing some family stuff. So it's just us two hardcore gamers, mate. And
indeed.
I don't know how many games you've played this week, Darren.
Not many, to be honest. So.
I'm going to put a little spoiler out there. I've played one game. And that is it.
You must have played something else.
No, I've literally played...
Not even anything on your phone?
No. Nothing. I don't play games on my phone.
Well, I don't know.
No.
Been playing the game of life, though.
Yeah. Oh, I did actually briefly load up I did briefly load up another game just to see how it ran. But I suppose I can briefly mention that as well, I guess. So, yeah. Let's get straight into it then, shall we?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, you mean to go first? Okay.
You might as well.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to apologise because last week's show was obviously a Patreon episode. So unless you were listening live or you got Patreon, etc., you wouldn't have heard me banging on about how, getting my big hard cock out for ARMA Reforger. Way. So, for those of you watching live, I'm actually restreaming my video I streamed yesterday of me. I'm in the corner in my pajamas. I had a bit of a pajama day yesterday, and I spent it playing ARMA. So I did actually stream ARMA for around 2 hours yesterday, and today I streamed it for about 3 hours. Outside of that streaming, though, I played it a lot more. I just couldn't be asked to sit on camera all day because it's a bit like a job. I am loving this game, as you can tell. So I've had it for just over 2.5 weeks now. And let me just check my game time. I've played it for 110 hours. That's a lot of hours. I am absolutely loving it. The stream isn't really doing it justice. It is a gorgeous looking game. It is absolutely beautiful looking.
I watched some trailers for it last week when I went to work, and I was talking to my mate about it because he's a big Grawl guy, and he's added it to his wish list and stuff now.
Brilliant. And
I'm sure I heard some of the lads going, "Oh, it's a bit PlayStation-y or PS3 or PS4 or something." I was like, "No." No. It doesn't look that bad.
Have you seen my screenshots in the Discord? They are...
yeah.
Yeah, and it's a gorgeous looking game, especially the lighting. What surprises me about it is that the map... Well, there's... Okay. On the official servers, you can choose between one of two maps. You get a smaller island and a bigger island, and I explained this last week. I'm only playing the bigger island, and it is fucking huge. It really is huge, right? And what amazes me is how well the game runs on that big map. Because you got to think, right? You got a huge map. You've got all the bases. You've got all the players running around the map. You've got AI on the map, and various other things happening, explosions, etc., etc. And it stays very stable for the most part. I mean, you do get the odd lag spikes and stuff, but, overall it runs really, really well. And it's got quite a steep learning curve to it as well, I found, because when I started playing it a couple of weeks ago, I was kind of playing it a little bit like Battlefield conquest mode. So, I'd jump in, I'd look on my map and I'd be like, right, there's a point now, I'm going to go take that. And then I'd be like, right, got it, I'm going to move on to the next one. And that's kind of the wrong way to play the game. There's a lot more depth to it than that. So basically, there's this whole kind of, you got all the bases, and you got two teams. You got the Americans and the Russians. This is the official servers. I'll get on to the modded servers in a bit. On the official servers, and each team starts at a base, kind of randomly on the map, and the first team to hold 5 bases for a set amount of time wins the game.
There's only 5 bases, is it, either?
Oh, yeah, but I think there's only like 7. Yeah, there's only like 7 on the map. So I was in a game, so I was playing this. So as an example, I've had games which have lasted an hour. I've had games like today. Like, I know I streamed for like just under 3 hours. I was in that same server for 5 hours today, and there was no winner when I left. I was like, I've got to come off now. I need my dinner. Because there was a point in the game where it looked like the Americans were going to win, because I was on the Russian team, and then we just kind of started to pull back, and I was like, fucking hell, man, this is awesome. But then I was like, go on. Yeah, no,
I was about to just ask briefly, like, is there any progression in the game, and how does that actually work?
This isn't. No, right, per server, per game, yes. And this is what I like about it, and this is what it's very old school in the way that there's a server browser. Yeah, you join a server, and you start off as like so basically you rank up in that server like in the military ways. You start off as like a corporal, then you go up to like a lance corporal, sergeant, and all that, right? And within that game, for your actions, killing enemies, holding bases, resupplying strategic like the points, etc., boosts your rank up, right? When you rank up, it allows you to build more things. So, for example, at one of the bigger bases, you can't build a helipad until you're a certain rank. Yeah. Because then and I think the system's really good, and they've even started in the next update. They're even limiting certain loadouts, like certain weapons and that, to certain ranks until you got onto certain rank. Because basically, the way the game works, and I think I explained this a little bit last week, is each base you've got on the map, and there's loads of them, apart from the main ones, obviously. Every time you take a different gun or like a rocket launcher, something like that, anything, it dwindles that base's supplies down, and you're all sharing those supplies.
So there's like a resource, yeah.
So basically what's been happening, and this mainly happens on the US team, is people fucking load into a base and just demolish all the resources because they want all their fucking red dot sights and fucking sniper rifles and bazookas and all that bollocks, right? But basically, because the whole supply thing is like a whole different game within a game if you want to do that. So basically, throughout the map, there are areas which have supplies, and you don't know where they are. Like, they show up on the map once you've found them. But once you start to learn the maps, you kind of know where they're going to be. But once you found them, like a little green icon appears on the map, like that look like a little supply. It's like a little supply logo. Anyway, basically, you can, like, instead of fighting the war and taking bases and shooting people, you could just be a supply truck driver. You get a supply truck, you drive to the supply place, fill up your truck, take it to the base and unload it, and keep on doing that. That is a game within a game, right? So then you can understand why there are some funny videos online as well of this, of people getting upset when people aren't playing the game properly and just dwindling those supplies, because it actually takes some effort to get those supplies to the bases. Now, it does actually make for quite a tactical game, though, Darren, because, like in real war, if you're on the opposing team, you can kind of be a dick and camp out on the supply routes and fucking blow up the supply trucks as they're coming along. And that is an actual tactic that people sometimes do.
Disable the supply trucks and then steal the resources.
Yeah, so basically another thing, like I did this today actually, I was in a game, I wasn't a supply truck, but I was on the main road and I wasn't in a vehicle, but then I saw this American Humvee coming down the road. And I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And I had a sniper rifle, and I actually sniped him through the front window of the car, and then I killed him, and then I stole his truck. So you could really do that with the supplies as well. The thing is, though, the cars can get damaged. You can pop their tyres, they get damaged engines and shit like that. So... And you can repair them, but you need the supplies to repair them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so the sort of like character upgrades and things you're getting are basically per game basis.
Yes.
So it's not like you're going to sort of like be playing the game for 2.5, 3 hours and then you're like, shit, I need to leave. I'm going to lose out on all the XP or whatever.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's nothing like COD at all. And this is what we were circling back to. I know I've been talking a lot about this stuff. It's old school. In that aspect, there's none of this codification of, you're getting your XP, you're getting new weapons, like you're not got any of that progression.
You get a like tiger print for my gun.
Yeah, and it works well because people are playing the game for the fun. Remember those days, Darren? Back in the old days, yeah, when people used to just play for the fun, like. And that's what I mentioned last week. This is why I'm loving this game, because it really brings me back to those really fun old school days of COD 4, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter or Warfare 1 and 2, Halo 3, those old those old first-person shooters that we love to play online for the fun, yeah? And this is what this game is doing for me. It's on, and I'm so happy it's on Xbox and PlayStation as well. The official servers are cross-play, and everyone's been, as I say, really, apart from the odd dick, you get them every now and again, but on the whole, 99% of the time, the team are friendly, they want to work together. This is the first game I've played for over 10 years, I'd say, where everyone chats in game chat and is friendly as well. Isn't
that because like the game chat is actually kind of integral to the gameplay in the way that like the game chat is done? Yeah, I think more games should actually kind of do that if they're that type of game, obviously.
Yeah,
odd, but not a good idea.
No, and it works well because you need to communicate. Your team need to communicate if they want to win. Right, so it's weird. Like, this is the first multiplayer game for me in donkey's years where I have been playing it mostly just on my own, and I'm just randomly just hooking up with strangers online, and we're chatting, and and we're having a good time. Like, I'll spawn at a base, at the beginning of the game, and I'll see some random people, and I'll get in the proximity chat, because you've got proximity chat and 2 different radio channels. I'll get in prox chat. Hey guys, how you doing? What shall we do? And then we'll all be looking at the map, and we'll be like, all right, well, let's get in this. Let's spawn a vehicle and go to this base here. We'll take this, and then we'll plant a radio, and then we'll decide we're going to go from there. And then
a merc for hire.
Yeah, but what's really good about it is it really encourages the teamwork in simple things like just traveling, because there's no mini map. You can't see where you are on the map, right? So generally, I will drive, because I basically the way the map works is you can't see yourself, but you can see only like these little icons for all the squad leaders in the game. Yeah, on your team, right? So basically, I'll jump in. I'll make myself a squad leader so people can see me on the map. So if I jump in a vehicle with a bunch of guys, I say, guys, can one of you map read? You can see me on the map. I'm Webby. This is my icon. Can you direct me? Yeah. So then there'll be this whole conversation going along as I'm driving with that teamwork. take the next left, take the next right. Okay, stop over at this barn, and then we'll sneak into the base from there. Yeah. It works so well because of that, because of these little game systems that they have in it. I love that.
Because you're all working together as a team to achieve a goal. Generally in things like that, everything you're kind of doing, even when you're playing with other players, you're all having a group experience doing that. It's not like you're having your own just single player game per se.
100%. You need to work as a team.
Add stories and that.
Well, it's quite funny because some people get really into it on these servers. Like yesterday, it was so funny. So basically, I was going to this. There's 4 of us in this car, and we we're going to this base, and we all got out, and we were going to take the base. I get shot, and I'm down on the ground. So basically, the way it works is you can get shot, take injuries, you can bandage yourself. You can also get knocked out, so you'll be laying there, and it's all black, and you can't move for a while, and then you can get up, and you got to use a bandage or a tourniquet or whatever. Everyone else can heal each other as well. And it's just funny the way that things go. Like, I got dropped, and there was this guy from Europe. I can't remember what country, maybe France or something. And he was like, "Webby, I'll save you, Webby." And I could see him like hunched over my body where it was all going black. It's like, "Webby, don't die on me. Like, I'm bandaging you up. Have a bit of morphine." I was fucking pissing myself. You know what I mean? Because it's just that kind of that teamwork that happens, and everyone's chatting. It is so hilarious. Like, some of the conversations that happen on this game are just so fucking funny. It is just so good. Playing this week, I've added around 5 or 6 new friends to me Steam friends list from people who've been playing it, who've obviously on Steam and have been playing it, which is really, really cool. And I haven't added new people in donkey's years, like just from playing games. I think the last time I added people from just playing games was probably on the Xbox 360. It's crazy. Like, it's got such a cool community feel to it, and everyone's kind of got that same mentality, if that makes sense. And that's what I like about it.
Even though it is on the other systems, I don't even really remember any sort of trailers or pushes for the game either. It just kind of came out, and I think I just saw it, and then you was talking about it.
Well, the weird thing about this game...
that's the thing that's been on PC for a while.
Yeah, so it's been on PC a couple of years, but the weird thing about this game is it's actually came out as the dev team put it out as kind of a... Was this a new engine from ARMA 3 as kind of a test before ARMA 4? So it's not even like kind of meant to be like a full-on game, if that makes sense. It's kind of like an interim kind of demo game before ARMA 4 comes out. But dude, it's it's fucking nuts. Like, so coming on some of the little things I've learned as I've been playing it. So if you're thinking about it and you just want some hints and tips, when you take a base, mate, if there is enough supplies already there, first thing you need to do is build a radio tower. If you don't build a radio tower, you cannot spawn there, because every base you get, once you put a radio tower down, it becomes a spawn point for your whole team, which is very handy. Make sure you do it. Also, it extends the radio network on the map. So basically, the way it works is you take a point, as you can see on the map, on my map here, right? Luckily, I can pause it. Right, see Wyoming. You see, there's a place called Wyoming. It's a kind of a like so all the So basically, they've got nicknames, right? So the place is called Villeneuve. It's the actual town, but they all have code names, right? That's called Wyoming because I'm playing on the Americans here. It's got that little yellow symbol. You got to place a tower there. Once there's a little radio tower there, it will then extend the radio network, so then I can take that one there, which is Hawaii, or this one, Connecticut. So it's kind of like you're making like a network, a mesh radio network. It extends it, because as well, if you don't extend it, if you like run out to a side of the map that's outside of radio range, then you have no comms with your team. So it's quite important to do. And some of the little things that make this game like really immersive to me, you got the proximity chat, right? And so you press so you got 3 different things you can do: proximity chat, or two things, or radio chat. But on the radio chat, you can switch between different channels, but you got 2 as default: your squad and your platoon. Your platoon's the whole team. Your squad is your squad. Even if you're talking on the radio, though, people will be able to hear you in the proximity as well. So basically, if you're in enemy territory and you start chatting shit on your radio, the enemy will hear you talking, right?
Can you whisper?
Yes, but then people will still kind of hear you whispering, right?
Fair enough.
But what makes it but what makes it immersive is, like, say if me and you are playing, Darren, the further away you walk from me, the quieter you will get in my headphones when you're talking, which is, I love that. It's really cool. On your radio, the further you are from the main kind of radio tower, it gets more crackly.
That's it, yeah.
Dude, it sounds so real, man. It's so cool. I love it. It's just amazing. It really, really is. But what makes it
could have gone super immersive and actually had where someone in your squad has to be the radio guy.
Well, okay.
The little thing on their back to sort of obviously, and if someone shoots that and takes that out, then your team's radio disabled and you can't use them until you get another one or something.
Yeah. Now, okay. So I'm not an expert. I mean, I played 100 hours, but I'm not an expert. So there is. So basically, when you've got your ammo thing down, there's some extra things that you can take, and I don't really see people use it much. You can replace your backpack with a radio as a radio backpack, but then when you're in the field, you can put it down as a mobile spawn point for your squad. Cool. Just for your squad, though, right? I only found out about this the other day when someone on my squad was using it and talking about it. I was like, fuck me, I didn't even know about it. It's well good.
I mean, good if you're trying to take a base. You can just pop it off in a bush or something just outside the base.
Yeah, well, you don't want to put it too close because it won't allow you to spawn, because it will say that enemies are there. So you got to have it in a sensible place, but also it makes a noise, that radio kind of noise. So then obviously the enemy will hear it. So you got to be quite thoughtful on your approach and where you're going to put these things, right? You can actually get a radio truck. I've not spawned one myself. I'm not really sure how it works, but I've seen other squads use it, and you can dump it somewhere and it becomes a spawn point for the whole team. But I think there's got to be certain kind of things you need to do to be able to. I'm not really sure how that works, how to get it. But it is handy because there is vehicles in this. You can get there's like a tank, and there's helos, and helicopter pilots are. If you get a good helicopter pilot, you're golden. You really are, because they know where to go and they'll drop you off behind enemy lines. You go and take.
And that's also why you want to make friends, because you'd be like, oh, John over here is fucking shit hot in the chopper. All right, we'll get him in. We've got a good chopper pilot then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But no, it's cool, man, because what's made this game for me, and the reason I've been playing it so much, is just because I know 9 times out of 10, I mean, I have gone into servers sometimes where I've been like, oh, these people are dicks, and I've left and found another one. But 9 times out of 10, I'll jump in a server on my own, and I know that I'm going to run into some cool people. I'm going to have a laugh, and we're all just going to have fun. And you know that, and that's what makes it for me. It's social. I've met some really cool people from loads of different countries. It's crazy. You know, all around Europe. You know, and I've been having a good time with it. As I say, like, I haven't had this feeling since, like, this proper feeling in a game of, like, meeting people and chatting since really Graw 2 to be fair. You know, when we play Graw back in the day, Darren, and we jump in, you know, and we just chat to people in, you know, even in the main menu before the game starts, and everyone's having fun. And when you die, you're kind of in that menu chatting shit to each other and stuff, you know? Oh, I love it. I'm absolutely loving it. Now, also, because it's PC, it's heavily moddable. And the cool thing for console players is the modded servers are all available to use on Xbox. And there is going to be an update soon for PlayStation gamers to be able to use those modded servers as well.
That is kind of weird, because I thought they'd actually got over that, because there was the whole issue at the start when they did the Skyrim, not the 10-year, but the special edition, wasn't there? And obviously Xbox had options to use some of the mods, whereas they were blocked on PlayStation because they see it as like third party.
Apparently it's coming.
That was actually sorted out. So you're kind of like, well, if they've got around that there, then I imagine there are certain things that are set in place to sort of like work for that.
Yeah, because basically you don't have to do anything manual. You'll select one of these modded servers and it will automatically just download and install the mods for you, even on PC, so you don't actually have to do anything. Now, the cool thing about these modded servers is, because I had a little go on a couple yesterday, and I'll talk about this other one I mainly use with this group, but I went on to a couple yesterday, and what's really cool about it is, like, people just make their own maps, their own teams. Like, there's maps with all, like, because this is set in, like, the 80s, you know, it's kind of older guns and stuff, whereas obviously, like, a lot of these modded servers, it's all, like, up-to-date weapons, up-to-date scopes, you can see weights and all that, right? Which is fantastic. You know, but I went on one map yesterday, and it was a Ukraine versus Russia map, and you actually, like, the full uniforms, and it was actually a map of a town in the Ukraine. I couldn't believe it, because I was chatting to the guy. I was like, because one of the guys who I was been gaming with,
Ender's Game,
invited me to it, and I was like, fucking hell, man! I didn't think they'd do this. And he was like, yeah, this is an actual town in Ukraine. Someone's remade it for the game. I was like, oh my god, that's insane, absolutely crazy. But I did get a bit hectic because the map wasn't huge and it was 128 players, and I was like, mate, I can't deal with this much action. It was too much for me, you know. Because basically the official servers, I know the map's big, but it's only 48 players, so it's like 24 players a team, and that's quite nice. Because it's not just chaotic action all the time. You've got time to build up your bases.
Yeah, you've got some moment-to-moment gameplay rather than just balls to the wall. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's obviously those... I think the bigger map with 128 players would probably be fun to play, but I like the official servers, and that's just how I've played. However, I have been playing more with this clan I'm in who take it serious. I just wanted to give them a shout out. So, this was actually Illmatic who invited me to these guys. They're called Task Force Black, and basically they run their own server. And they've got two servers, and they've got their own maps and they've got all their own custom gear. So you've got the Americans and the Brits, and us British guys all have the official, like, proper British Army uniform, England, like the Union Jack patches and everything like that, all the guns, everything. And I was playing with them in the week, and I had to. And one of the initiation things to play with it, like, to do it properly, is they do take it all seriously. I had to go through basic training. So it got me on the server and I had a fucking training course and everything. It was fucking hilarious. So I had to do that with them, and it was a good laugh. We had a good time.
Does it teach you how to throw potatoes and stuff like instead of grenades?
A lot of it was like, I mean, I just blasted through it because obviously, like, I play games a lot, and they were like, "Yeah, you're good." And then we did, and then they were like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "Oh, I want to jump out of planes and shit. That'd be fun." They're like, "Right." So the next day we all had parachute training out of a plane. So we're all jumping out, parachuting out this plane, and we had to like figure out where we were going to land, like using the map proper. So I actually got a picture of how I figured that out. I think I put it in the pictures. Where is it? They do have a. Oh, we go here. So basically, you got your map, yeah. And then that was our landing zone where that X is, and we're in the plane. It was like, right, how do we get there? And there's like all these little numbers. Oh, I might have actually taken it on I might actually get a better picture on my. Yeah. Yeah, you can see all these little numbers, and they're the degrees, which you need to look at kind of your bearing on the compass. There's loads of little numbers. And I was like, right, let's try and figure this out. And they taught me how to do it. So you see where you are on the map. You get this fucking square ruler thing out, point it north, put it in the middle, and then you draw a line from where you want to go to you, and then it tells you the degrees you gotta go to. So we're getting like really in depth with it now, yeah. Like, right, let's go. Jumped out, hit our target, and then we did a little mission, and we had to like we had to kill a high value target and destroy a radio station, stuff like that. So they make their own missions. I think I mentioned this last week.
Oh, that's cool.
So basically, you got a game master. Like one of them's a game master. He's like, right, I've made up this scenario. You got a parachute and land in this location. You got 3 targets. One target, you got to blow up the radio comms. The second target is to destroy a weapons cache, and the third target is just to kill this HVT. So then we go around and do it all properly, and we take our time. We did this one at night, so we had our night vision goggles on and going through. Like the whole thing took like 3 hours, and it was so fun because it was all like just for the fun. You know what I mean? Like and then we have like a little debrief after and have a little laugh, and that's it. I'll go to bed. So this game has and this is another thing I like about it. It has so many options of how to play it. Like, as I say, you could do the official servers and just play with the vanilla weapons and that. There's loads of different modded servers, which are all loads of different maps, different weapons, all like modern shit. And then, or you could join like a hardcore clan like I have, where they, again, have their own modded servers, but it's all, they have a game, because there is like Game Master, like this, so basically the way it works is, you have a server, and the Game Master has complete control over everything. So how many enemies are in an area, they can put more down, put objectives down and stuff like that. And it's just cool. It's just really, really cool. I'm just absolutely loving this game because of all that variety, like, as I say, I could jump in a game and I'd be like, right, I'm going to be on a fire squad with the guys, and we're going to go and cap points and kill dudes. Or, fuck it, I'm going to be a sniper and just, like, hang with a squad, but then I'm going to, like, find a good spot and snipe out this base and take out the enemies at this main base or whatever. Some good spots, like lighthouses and shit like that. Or I can help out the team by being like driving a truck and doing supply runs and helping the team out in that way, so I'm sure there's other things that you could do. I don't know.
Does anyone
a chopper
just
pilot
volunteer to be like the morale boosting Joker?
Oh, there's plenty of jokers in this game, mate. Especially the Americans. You'll get like some of the funny moments I've had is like you'd get into like a Jeep with the Americans and then start playing fucking music like World War, like Vietnam music, like all those classic kind of Vietnam tracks and stuff like that as you're driving down the road just to get you in the mood. And we're like, yeah, baby. So yeah, this game just just brings a smile to my face because of that. I think it's just more of that community feel of, as I've said 100 times already, just I get into a game and I can just get on the comms. All right, guys, anyone fancy going to, I don't know, to Chotane, which is town on one of the maps? Can someone help me do Chotane? And I'll get like 3 or 4 guys go, yeah, we'll help you, Webby. Let's all link up and get in a Humvee and fucking go there and take it. You know what I mean? And there's no other game in recent memory that I can think of where there's that much teamwork, that much chatting on a radio, like in game or anything. You know, it's something truly unique. You know, I just wish more games like this because, you know, most games now, and I'm not going to diss COD because I like to play COD, but
it's a different type of game.
You know, there's too many games like COD. You know, they're all season passes. They, you know, you want to get the next fucking gun skin. And, you know, and there is a place for those action games. Don't get me wrong. I think they're great. But we've kind of been missing this kind of game. You buy a game and that's it. There's no more money to spend on it. You get it and you can have your fun on the official servers, fun with the community in those. But then there's a massive other community of the mod scene, making their own maps, game modes and stuff like that. You know, it's something truly magical about this, in my opinion. Like, it's come, like for me, it's come out of nowhere because I didn't even, the only reason I bought it was because of Illmatic. So big shout out to Illmatic. I know you're listening because you are a Patreon. You know, he messaged me a few times over a week saying, Webby, you'll love this game. Like, seriously, just buy it. You'll love it. It's your sort of game. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm in an hour. And then I was like, you know what? I'll bite the bullet because I know, like, if I don't like it and I haven't played it for more than 2 hours, I could just get a refund on Steam. Well, I was fucking hooked after an hour. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm loving it. And as I say, it'd be nice to see more people in the 360G community play this, I think, because I think, you know, if we get in together, we'd have good fun. I mean, I've had some good nights on it with Frosty. Who else have I played with on there? And I just want to make sure. Oh, What's My Tag? Obviously, yeah, had a good time with him and Blakey as well, Colin Blake from the community. So I've played with a few people from the community, which has been cool. You know, fantastic fun times. But obviously, I'm on every fucking night at the minute, and other people have got lives, whereas I don't at the minute until my family come home. So I'm just hammering it. So, yeah. I don't really know what else I can say about it, really. I mean, I'm just loving it. Absolutely loving it, mate. As I say, the graphics are really good. I'm not seeing it on console. I imagine it looks decent on console. I'm not even playing it on maxed out settings because I just want to keep it at a decent frame rate, and it looks lovely, especially the lighting. There's a full day-night cycle on it, so if you're on a server for long enough, it'll go day, night, day. You know what I mean? You know, and as the sun's coming up or going down, it looks nuts, like so nice. The only thing I don't like about the official servers is there's no night vision. But what I did find out the other day was you can equip a grenade launcher to the bottom of your assault rifle, and instead of actual having grenades, you can have flares. So you pop a flare up in the sky and it lights it up like a fucking Christmas tree, like the area below. And I was chatting to one.
I must admit,
yeah,
with the things, I was actually like in one of the trailers I was watching. It shows you sort of like nighttime wooded warfare, and you can't see shit until them flares go up. And I'm kind of like, this is pretty atmospheric, like with the light going over slowly and then people just firing into the darkness.
Yeah,
when they see movement and that.
It's really immersive. And what I was going to say is that I was chatting to a guy on my squad about the flares yesterday, and he was saying that he used to be in the army about 20 years ago, and he was saying to me, the flares look so realistic in this because he used to use the flares in the army. I was like, really? That's really That's
I
really
imagine
impressive.
they've got a lot of military people like with dealings with the game. You know what I mean? Consulting.
Yeah. Oh, Brooksy asked me if it's crossplay, full crossplay on official servers. So yeah, I have been playing with PlayStation and Xbox people, which has been really, really good. Yeah, so yeah, on the modded servers, obviously they will have night vision and all that because modern times, right? But on this, you got the flares. You do have flashlights as well, but obviously you don't really want to use them because you'll give your position away. So yeah, it's just really, really cool. So yeah, as I say, like the graphics are nice, the performance is really cool, the teamwork is really, really cool. You're just watching me now, like I just got out of a chopper with a team, and then we're going to a base. This is from my stream yesterday. You can see we're all chatting to each other, figuring out the way to go, and yeah, it's just a really cool fucking game, and I love it. I'm absolutely hooked on it. It's the first game that I've been this addicted to for ages. Like, when was the last time I've played over 100 hours of a game in just over 2 weeks? I can't fucking remember. Really, it's been that long. Like, I put that many hours into any game in that short amount of time.
Had the chance to put in.
Well, no, true,
Weeks,
yeah, true. But no, it's really addictive, and I say because and as I say, but I like the fact there's no progression system, like from game to game. I like that each game's its own kind of thing, So yeah, because it rewards you for helping out the team and doing stuff in the game, in that specific game, So yeah, and it's taught me how to read a map, Darren, as well.
Yeah, I remember you saying about that last week.
Yeah, which could be quite handy. Map, compass, little ruler thing. I can read a map. Better than it's better than being in Cubs or Scouts, mate. So, yeah, I think that's enough on ARMA this week. I'll probably talk about it again next week. I'll try to play some other games, but that might be tough for me to do because this is so good. But yes, that's enough ARMA for 1 week. So, to you, Darren.
Sort of like mainly sort of sporadic stuff, I will say.
Yeah.
Although I did sort of like go a little bit retro and play an older game this week.
Yeah.
So I finally decided to enroll at Hogwarts.
What? Hogwarts Legacy?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Are you feeling all right?
Yeah, no, I picked it up sort of around in the Christmas sale because you could pick it up for like 20 quid.
Ah.
And obviously it was one of the games where it's like, oh, it's pro enhanced, and I was like, well, it's another game and that, and it was always one of them ones that I thought looked good, but there was just a lot of other stuff that came out around the time, I think.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, I'm not really going to get the chance to sort of play it or anything and stuff, and to be honest, this game still looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
Visually, I think. Even though it's like, what, almost 2 years old now?
Yeah.
It came out in 2023, didn't it?
Yeah.
Initially. And I can see, like, why this game sold, like, tens of millions of copies.
Yes. There's a lot of Harry Potter fans out there.
There is, but it's not just that. It has a kind of magical wonder to the game itself.
Yeah.
Obviously, the opening introduction to the game is done really well. It's very sort of, how would you say, cinematic. That's it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing where it sort of ends with like a sweeping shot across the water to Hogwarts and the titles come up and everything, just almost like it does in the films.
Yeah.
Per se, it's kind of weird because this is set like 100 years before the films, isn't it?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
Because it's kind of weird because England obviously outlawed and changed a lot of policies, we'll say, in that time.
Mm-hmm.
They regressed in those 100 years because there's a lot of sort of things going on that are like, really, in this era? Don't think so. But It's fine.
Yes.
But exploring Hogwarts itself is fantastic.
Oh, God, yeah. It is really well done, isn't it?
Exceedingly well done. Like the attention to detail and all the little areas. It's kind of like when you find a new wing to the castle that's obviously themed on the lessons that it gives and stuff. You're kind of like, oh, yes. Another area to sort of explore and look about and stuff.
Yeah.
I will say that poltergeist is a prick. Peeves, I think he's called.
Peeps?
No, Peeves.
Yeah, I'm just joking, mate. Yeah.
Definitely a little bit of a twat. I imagine there's a few same facey things going on there because the amount of students and that are in there.
Yeah.
So I'm in Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
I didn't particularly want to go Gryffindor. It's a bit classic. Slytherin's kind of slightly evil, and I never really play games bad, like as the bad character per se. And Hufflepuff's Hufflepuff. No one wants to be a Hufflepuff.
No.
But yeah, the controls are very simple as well.
Yeah.
I would say, like you learn certain set spells, you basically map them to your 4 buttons, and you can pretty much switch them out like pretty intuitively as well.
Yeah.
So you can sort of turn yourself invisible, which I figured was going to be something when I think I was in Hogsmeade, and I was like, oh, there's a treasure chest over there, and I was like, is it looking at me? Is that? Hang on a minute, and it sort of started to get a bit stressed out as I got closer, and I was like, you know what, it probably won't attack me, but I'm not going to do it just yet. And obviously, yeah, it keeps an eye out, and the closer you get, it locks itself tight, doesn't it? To stop you opening it up unless you use set spells. You get levitate, you can do something like I do really enjoy pulling items out of the air towards yourself.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
And like catching them in your little like class diary thing.
Oh, yeah.
And everything. I haven't sussed out what the deal is with the doors with the animal symbols on them, and then there's like dice on the walls that you can roll.
Oh, right. Yeah. I can't quite remember now off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've played it.
I haven't figured that one out. There's like sums as well in diagrams between those.
Right.
Crafting of potions and all other bits and bobs. But I still haven't actually even got to the point where I've unlocked my talents yet. And I've been playing the game for about 7 or 8 hours. And I'm like level 15, and I'm like, where's my talents?
Well, I know what you're like when you play games, though, Darren. You take ages just exploring. You don't, you take ages to go through like the main stories, don't you? So
yeah, I mean, one of the things that I really appreciate with this game is when it first came out, I remember sort of saying to a friend like, "Oh, you have to go to lessons and all of that kind of stuff, don't you?" And he was like, yeah, that's that you do. And I said, oh, is it like Persona where you have to go to lessons with a certain time and then you've only got and he was like, no, you just run around and do what you like when you want. When you want to go to the lesson, you just go there and it starts it.
Yeah.
And I think that system's really good.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't constrain you into thinking, shit, I need to go and do this next when I'd rather be off doing something else.
Yeah.
You can kind of sort of take your time and in your own mind, you can sort of condense it. I mean, it's kind of weird why no one reported a child from Hogwarts had gone missing in the woods for 2 days.
Yeah.
Because I was running around, like, attacking a goblin camp, and it definitely went from night to day to day to night again while I was exploring this kind of area. The story's done really well. Also,
it's great. It's really well done. It's really good.
Yeah, even the PS5 controller is kind of cool because, like, when you pet cats and stuff, I know it's obviously a thing in games, and can you pet the animal, etc. Like, the cats actually purr out of the controller.
Oh, that's cool.
And it does other sort of weird and wonderful things as well with the controller here and there. It's got like the what's it called, where tighten the buttons and stuff. I can't remember, haptic feedback.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And stuff, what they're called. So that's all there as well. Just exploring the world is just really, really fun. Because it is sort of like slightly different. Yeah, it's got like a childish sort of spin to it, but
once you get your broom and you can fly around, mate, it's even better.
That's what I'm looking forward to, the flights and stuff. Because at the moment I'm just travelling between the little flames that you unlock.
Yeah.
And even then you'll be sitting there and like, who's talking to me? And you turn around and it's like a bust of a statue having a conversation with me.
Yeah.
And obviously when you're in Hogwarts itself, you've got like this giant thing of a dragon that's moving, and like all the paintings, like they'll talk to you as well, and they watch you as you walk past.
Yeah.
There's like a part yesterday or today actually when I came out of a room and there was like a couple of suits of armour and one of them just jumped off the plinth and beat the shit out of the other one.
That's funny.
And I was just like... And I was like, I can't put him back together, because obviously you can get a spell called Reparo, which basically like repairs things that have been smashed up, which is also part to do with some of the puzzles and things. But yeah, you got like that mixed with all the side quests and the sort of other different things in the game. The fact that there's no time constraint, it is sort of open world. I wouldn't say it's like full on.
Yeah.
Because I imagine it is quite restricted, but you can sort of obviously travel to Hogsmeade, and you've got various other parts as well, and they've all got their own little challenges, haven't they? To do. And one of the things I was it was like a gift and a curse. So one of the things I found quite early on, which I was quite happy with, was the game's transmog system.
Yes.
Absolutely fan-bloody-tastic. Because I was sort of like running around doing all these different bits and bobs. You open up different chests and you pick up stuff, and it's like, here's a hat that looks like shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh. And then like a bit later on, you're like, here's some glasses that make you look like Harry Potter. And I'm like, I don't want to look like Harry Potter. Thank you very much. And then you sort of look and they go, I bet they've got stats, so I'm forced to equip them.
Yeah.
To obviously raise your stats. And then I looked and it was just like, all right, yeah, great. I look like a dickhead. Fantastic. And then I'm like, hold on a minute. Oh, I can glamour it and hide it.
Yeah.
Like straight away. Like it's maybe that wasn't there on the game's release. You know, sometimes they do.
Oh, it was on there.
It was fantastic. Yeah. And that coincided with the other thing that I found slightly annoying was the fact that you only had 20 inventory slots, and they filled up super quick. And then everything I was picking up was like, you don't have room for this, you don't have room for this. And it's like, right, is there a stash? And I remembered there being a stash at like your common room area.
Yeah. But
it's not actually a stash. I couldn't drop stuff in there like items.
I'm sure you could store stuff like you get like there's another room you get later. I don't want to spoil it.
I know the room of requirement. I haven't got it yet. Yeah. That's basically the big thing. So that might be a what's it. But I did Google like when it didn't actually allow me to put anything in there. It was just like red. To interact with it. And I said, is there a player stash? And it said, no, there isn't.
Okay. I thought the room of requirement had it, okay.
Yeah. There might be one in there. Obviously, it might have even come in a later update, because I think you played this when it pretty much came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, every bit of gear you've picked up, even if you sell it, it still keeps the glamour.
Yeah, it's cool that, isn't it?
So if you want to then still keep something because you like the appearance of how it looks, you can still glamour that over even after you've sold it off, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And there are certain games out there that still can't do that.
Yeah.
And it kind of bugs me. It's like one of the main things with Dragon's Dogma. Like it's medieval. Most medieval hats were fucking stupid looking. And you've spent ages in your character creator and like you're doing your haircut and all that, and you're like, yeah, excellent, I look badass. And then minutes later, you're running along with a fucking dead cat on your hat with feathers coming out of it, and you're like, I look like a twat, and you can't hide it or anything but you have to have it on because it's obviously a shitload of stat increase.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of these people that likes to run through like a game naked with a wooden club or something for the challenge.
Lols. I'm glad you're enjoying it though, mate. It's a great game. It really is.
It's one of those ones where I'm kind of like, even though this is like 2 years old almost, it's still really, really good. And you can pick the game up now for a song. I mean, most people, if they've got kids or whatever, their kids have already probably played it and had fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you meet a quite strange group of like kids at the school as well. Say, that all have their kind of quirks. And I will say, one of the characters I thought was going to be a complete dick. He's the man so far.
Nice.
At first, I was like, oh, is he going to be the dickhead character that's going to kind of be all on my case and everything? And then he's like, oh. And then we got in a bit of shit, and he didn't grass me up. He like kept me out of it, and I was like, oh, he's a man, this guy.
Nice.
So,
played anything else?
Sorry. Well, that might as well toss it back to you, mate, to talk about some other stuff, and then just
so
bitsy games to and fro.
All I've played is ARMA. However, I did, as we all know, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth come out on PC this week.
Oh right, yeah.
So I did try it very briefly on PC yesterday. Excuse me, so I'm really tired. I was up early this morning. I went for a walk, I went for a 6-mile walk this morning at like 9 o'clock, and I'm knackered now. Just to get out of the house because I didn't get out yesterday. No, I literally only tried it for about 20 minutes, just to see what it looked like, and it looked nice. Graphics look slightly better than PS5, definitely better frame rate. It's very good looking. That's all I can say. I'm really happy that it's now out on PC. And yeah, that's it. that's literally nothing else I can say about it, because I hammered it last year, right, on Xbox, on PlayStation. But nothing I can really say now because I've already completed it. I literally hardly played anything on. I only played like 20 minutes of it, as I say, on the PC, and it looked just like a slightly polished version. That is it. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh my god, it's so much better on PC, OMG, blah blah blah. It's like it looks a little bit sharper. That's it. So, but as I say, I'm glad it's out on PC, and I'll be talking about it again in the news section anyway. So, yeah,
it's cool.
Yep. You played anything else, mate?
Yeah, I played it. Obviously, played a little bit of Space Marine with my mates. Sort of doing co-op on that, and that game can also, I suppose, have the camaraderie that you kind of get from ARMA a little bit.
Oh yeah.
When you're playing a certain classes, if you've played it, you'll know you'll get certain enemies that will like be calling for backup and other sort of bits and bobs. And it is always good to be like that guy that's like, "Don't worry about it, lads. I've got this.
Yeah.
Just carry on doing what you're doing. I've got him. Yeah, he's down. I've got him. That one's turning up. Don't worry, I'll take him out. just carry on what you're doing. There's a med kit over there. Grab that. Don't worry about me. I'm fine back here. Just like keeping an eye out for other people and sort of that thing. But then it's still crazy because I'm pretty sure they've buffed the spawn rate of some of the enemies.
Oh.
Because we had a game the other day which was one of those you shall not pass games, you know, where the game's just like, no, you're fucked. You ain't getting through this run whatsoever. I think we was about halfway through the level. We'd had one med kit spawn.
Jesus.
And I think one grenade, which was a melter grenade, which was just, they're not good. They're just like a thing you throw on the floor.
Right.
And detonate it when enemies are around it. And then the game decided to throw a boss at us. And I'd probably say about 10 or more mediums alongside all the other fuckery that was going on. And it was just like, my mate was like, I've never seen this many mediums like flapping about. And I was like, yes, bollocks, mate. It's impossible.
Wow.
You can't defend against all of that. And then like the next game you have, you'll just go through and it'll be like reasonably okay with a challenge. It's just one of those weird things that happens every now and again.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's kind of good because you never have, like, I'd say, a fully relaxed game. You'll always have a couple of moments in a game where you get a bit of sweaty palms going on.
Yeah, I suppose it'd get boring if you could just stomp through it every fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, it is done with like one of those kind of AI direct managers or whatever it is. So you're never going to have the same enemies in the same area and all of that kind of stuff. You'll get sort of parts where the game director will be like, yeah, you're going to have a clump here and a clump there, maybe one round the corner, but they're never going to be roughly the same enemy types.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to change them up and move them about, and like the different random bosses that can sort of turn up as well.
Mm.
So yeah, got another one of my classes up to 25. So I think that's 3 or 4 now. I've got to max rank. But even once I've got to max rank, you're still talking about maybe doing another 10 plus missions, clearing to get all of the legendary armor pieces.
Okay.
For that character.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that. Played for a bit. The first Descendant, I've been sort of like dipping in and out of daily, just doing my sort of daily bits on that, more like the Void Arc runs and stuff. I've got the last character and everything now. Kind of irritating that I still don't want to can't really level up my dog.
Okay.
Because you get like a dog now. I can't remember if I've talked about it. It's fellow. It's called a fellow. And basically what you do is you run Void mission and you find blueprints for dog food, which level it up.
That's funny.
And then you have to craft it. And basically the higher the rank of your dog, the further it will go to collect items.
Right, okay.
It's basically like a pet in like a lot of the other sort of type of games. It will just run and grab stuff. You can also get it to auto dismantle stuff, but I never really do, just in case that time it decides to wreck something decent.
Right, okay.
Or something that might be a slight upgrade to what I have.
Yeah.
And generally, whenever I've been getting those blueprints, it's like, is the shit one? Is the shit one? Is the shit one? And it costs the same to make the shit one as it does the best one.
Oh, that's a bit silly, isn't it?
So you kind of like, I don't want to be using all of my resources to make a shite one that doesn't even level it up a single level.
Yeah.
When I want at least the medium one or the high one, and I must have run about 8 or 9 recently, and it just keeps giving me the worst bloody blueprint, and or money. Because having money in games, it does make me laugh when you sort of have a certain sort of like these kind of games that I get they're done to sort of get you in a loop to keep you playing.
Yeah.
But when something keeps giving you money when it's not even needed, you don't need it.
Yeah.
I'm swimming in like 200 plus million. There must be players like swimming in way more than that. And they're like, oh, do you want to have 100 grand? And you're like, no, actually, I'd rather have something useful.
Yeah, it's a bit weird you can't buy those items that you need either. Like, there's no store like to buy them and gain money or anything.
Well, I suppose actually no. That's probably a good thing because you can't microtransaction your way out of it and do it like that per se. I mean, it'll come. I mean, I think I've got mine to about level 24 out of the 30. It's just a pain that whenever you sort of run it again, you're like, oh, nothing this time again. Like, and then you get to the end chest and you open the chest with like after you kill the boss and he drops a chest and you're like, you could get one of these items and you're like, sweet, I'd like, oh, money.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah.
So, but it is hard for, I suppose, a game like that to have that fine balance because you will have moments like that where you keep getting shit, but then you'll get a time where it's like, oh, it's a really good item, it's another really good item, and you sort of get them on the bounce. Because if it was a game where everyone got everything what they kind of wanted all the time, you're just going to go in, get everything, and then stop playing it.
Yeah, true.
And for a game that's live service, that's basically a death knell.
Yeah.
Because if it's a live, especially if it's a live service co-op, because you'd have people going in and being like, oh, there's no one playing this because they've got everything.
Yeah.
And they're just going to sit back and wait for the next season to turn up.
Yeah.
So, but they're running an event at the moment. They ran an event, actually. I forgot to mention it because you were over in Australia anyway. But they actually, if you logged in for a bunch of days, you got Ultimate Bunny for free.
Oh, right.
They just gave away an ultimate character.
Oh, wow. Cool.
At the moment, they've got an event running where you log in and you get like lunar coins.
Oh, right, okay.
For doing certain things. So they're reasonably easy, like complete a void vessel mission, do 2 invasion missions, do 4 missions anywhere in the game, and you get credits, and you can use those credits to actually buy things like the energy activators that can upgrade your module capacity, or you can get some catalysts which enable you to sort of like mark one of your module sockets so it can take less of a power sap sort of a thing. But some of the ones that they've actually got in there is like choose your own legendary weapon box.
All right, okay.
So you can literally buy the legendary weapons you might be missing. So it's like I've got 3 of a certain gun, so I could buy those 2 and choose 2 more of those same guns and then merge them together to get the fully upgraded version.
Right, okay.
But yeah, they have added something called Void Erosion, which I think is the new one that came out last week. And completing that enables you to upgrade your weapon even more with cores and stuff.
Okay.
But I still don't fully understand all of that properly. And it's kind of one of those where it's like, oh, do you want to go into a game where you're against like monsters that are level 180 and stuff, and like proper bullet sponge and that? And you're like, not really.
Yeah.
And I kind of get it. I get it's there. It's there to sort of one of those things. You know, when you get those games where people are like, oh, see, I want more of a challenge. I want this. I want the game to literally kill me in my sleep if I fail. Type of a thing. I mean, I'd just love it if I was ever to be a game developer and they'd be like, oh, have you got any hard modes in your game? Go, yeah, I've got one. It's called Why Even Bother mode. And when you die in it, your character's permanently dead and it deletes your entire game save. So you have to start again from the beginning. Good luck. Enjoy that. There you go. There's your hard mode.
Jeez. Yeah.
So... But again, I think it's a game that has thrived really well in, I suppose, like the Discord things, because you do need sort of communication and stuff between squad members if you're doing a lot of the high level. I've forgotten the name of the Colossus battles. You know, the big arena things, and they are talking about maybe jazzing them up a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Which would be nice because, like, it's the same freaking arena, isn't it, every time?
Yeah.
Kind of loading into like an X-Men war room.
Yeah.
Per se. And I'd rather it was like different locations and things that would actually make more sense to the enemies.
Definitely.
Like, I remember when they first showed the game off, like years ago, they actually had you fighting like the walkers and that in swamps and things.
Yeah.
And I think that would actually like be kind of cool. But there's still a lot of people playing it. I know everyone's like, oh, the player numbers have proper dropped down. It's the same with Final Fantasy.
Same with all these games.
Numbers, and you log in and it's like, oh, you're in a queue. And you're like, oh, yeah, so there's hardly anyone playing, but yeah, I'm in a queue to get into my server because it's full.
Yeah. Every fucking time.
It's kind of weird. Dead game, lol, and that.
Yeah.
So there's always people sort of like playing them. I don't know what it is, whether it's just people wanting certain things to fail because they didn't like it and they left and moved on.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I was never one for Destiny. Like, after a certain point, I was just like, nah, not for me. But that game went on and on and on and on, got a sequel. Loads of people still play that. Loads of people still really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I pissed about with Last Faith again for a little bit. I haven't got much further. The Last Faith. It's that Metroidvania
Oh,
type kind of thing.
Yeah. Remember now, yeah.
So I've started getting used to some of the stuff in that. So there is like parries and things in it that you can actually do, and brutal finishes and stuff on enemies, but it doesn't seem to pop up too often to actually let you sort of like brutalise an enemy. There's a lot of dodge rolling and stuff in it.
Okay.
But I'm now in like the main sort of like, I suppose, sort of town that's gone to shit. I can't remember the name of the actual place. But that place is filled with some weird and wonderful. The enemy design is fantastic, I will say.
Yeah,
You've got like grave keepers shuffling along with like coffins on their backs with like half a skeleton hanging out of it and that.
Jeez.
And like big sort of like cook sort of maid women with like severed hand that like vomit.
Oh, lovely.
And stuff. I'm a sucker for that old sort of like well-made 2D pixel art.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous, doesn't it?
Done well.
Yeah.
Again, like you can pick this game up for like under 20 quid or so. I don't know how big it is. It does have like a very Souls-like leveling system.
Right.
There's multiple weapons you can get. There's 4 classes to choose from the start. You've got a gun that fires silver bullets, or like a type of bullet that's limited. Very much reminds me of Bloodborne, you know, when you had that little shotgun kind of thing that you could whip out to interrupt combos and stuff. So yeah, enjoying it. It's obviously going to have the Metroidvania thing of like, you can't access this area yet.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the ability to get up to this point because it's too high, or you need the key to get through this gate to go round and pull the lever, which will then open this area up and make it more and more accessible. So
cool. That looks good.
Yeah, and I think I played about another half an hour to 45 minutes of Black Myth as well.
Nice.
I will say the only issue I have with that game, and I think it is pretty much the only issue, is there's no block bar.
Yeah, you got to dodge. Yeah.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah. It's got to learn to dodge roll, mate.
Block. Yeah, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. I mean, I didn't actually play the game because you can apparently play it in 60 FPS.
Right.
But it's not advisable to play it in 60 FPS because it uses frame generation to make up the 60 FPS. And frame generation is not proper FPS.
Yeah.
So your kind of timing is going to be all over the show.
Yeah.
But then, depending on the enemy type, your timing will need to basically like change. So I've taken out a few more bosses and stuff. I think I've learned a couple more abilities and things.
Nice.
Because obviously you start unlocking the, I don't know what they're actually called. You like absorb the spirits.
Yeah. They're like the I can't remember
the first boss I killed was like a big kind of monk thing with beads and a massive blue head.
Yeah.
And then when I took him out, like there were these blue things that were just floating in the air.
The orbs, like things like their soul, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, what? And they kind of stayed there for a while.
Yeah, because you can summon them.
Further through the game, when I got further through the game, I met some old bloke who was like, "Oh, give me a gourd, I'll paint it up." And he said this now has the ability to suck in the souls of the dead or something or other. And then it retroactively gave me that, which then allows you to sort of equip it.
Yeah.
Which gives you different buffs to your stats depending on which one you've got equipped. You can level them up, and they also give you access to like an ultimate move.
Yeah.
That you build up with spirit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all pretty sort of cool.
Yeah.
And there's like a giant frog thing I beat the crap out of as well. And things like the character designs and everything are really well done in it.
Oh yeah.
And the music, but yeah, then I sort of like was just like not particularly in the mood, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
where I was just kind of played it for a bit, and I was like, you know what, I'll move on to something else for a slight moment.
Yeah,
But it is one I'm going to definitely dip in and out of. I think that's the best way to sort of play it, I suppose.
Yeah, so it can get frustrating if you
but
get, stuck.
I'm sorry, it's no Lies of P. Like, it just isn't to me.
That's fair enough.
Like, that game to me was just like, for the genre, the sole genre, I found Lies of P just like the game mechanics just felt so good on that game.
And the gothic kind of setting as well. And
yeah, I mean, I like the Eastern setting, like the fantastical Eastern setting of this. It's beautiful and everything, but it Lies of P was like a vibe.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it felt so good, like the perfect parrying and all of that kind of stuff. And I haven't got that with this. You've got like the dodges, the perfect dodges that leaves like the sort of thing behind.
Yeah.
Like the after image and stuff, but it's just not as good as like a good like counter attack, is it? Like
I know what you mean.
And that.
Yeah.
I will say, because basically that's the last game I was gonna sort of like talk about that I played. Did you watch or did you see the trailer for the? It wasn't really a trailer. It was kind of like a showcase of like a new boss for Phantom Blade Zero.
No, I didn't actually.
Oh. So that game's going to be very interesting. We still don't have a release date for it yet.
Was this the one from the PlayStation
event years ago with the really fancy sort of like wushu style combat? Yeah.
Yeah, there's
very fluid, fast deflection kind of.
Well, there's a 6-minute fucking trailer.
Yeah, so it's basically a boss fight against. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a collection of enemies that all fight as one unit.
Looks very fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I just like the fact that the whole thing is like the enemies do specific moves and like it all plays out like a well choreographed kind of fight to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, it's got to be kind of a bit of a what would you call a talent to make something play out and be interesting regardless of how you take it on.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're playing out a cinematic fight, even though you still have a lot of control over how it plays out and what goes on.
Yeah.
But the enemy's attacks and all of that lot are still carrying on and making everything feel very fluid and like it almost feels like a set piece, but it's not.
Yeah.
That game isn't actually going to be a Souls game. It's not a Souls-like. It's just a hack and slash.
Oh, good. Like a bit like Ninja Gaiden sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're taking they wanted the fast, quick-paced sort of combat of like a Ninja Gaiden, but at the same time they kind of wanted to take certain things from the Souls games.
Right. Okay.
And other stuff. So you have got perfect blocks and parries and all that kind of stuff in there, I believe.
Awesome.
So I thought that was pretty cool when I saw that this week.
Yeah.
Because it was one of them ones where I'm kind of surprised they haven't dropped a demo. Because when they talked about it during the summer thing last year, there was a demo that people could play at Gamescom and stuff.
Yes, I did just see when I was looking at YouTube, there was a 27-minute gameplay video as well that you can watch.
But then people are also saying that have seen this new trailer, that have actually played the previous demo, they've actually said, "Oh, this looks a bit more polished."
Yeah, well, it will be, won't it?
From what they've done, so they've obviously been working on it quite a bit.
Yeah,
which may be the reason why we haven't got that demo yet.
Yeah, maybe.
Because if it's going to represent an older build of the game, it's not going to give like a good impression, is it?
No.
Which brings me to the thing of you've got the Monster Hunter Wilds demo coming out within the next week or two.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing like another open beta for it.
Oh, okay,
which will net you some stuff in the game if you do it.
Oh, okay.
Like some charms, so I'll log in and do it again just to see what it is. Problem is all of the modern changes they've done to the game, where in regards to like the picture and the frame rate and everything.
Yeah.
that's not done for the demo. The demo is still on the older build of the game.
Oh, right. That's a bit old, eh?
So those improvements will be coming a bit further down the line. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if playing on the Pro makes any difference, even though, as far as I'm aware, it wasn't Pro enhanced like the last beta. And if it's running off of the older code still, then I doubt this new one will be.
Yeah.
But we shall see anyway. So, yeah, I've always found that kind of hard because you want to promote your game, but at the same time, you don't want to put out a poor showing of something that's actually better than what is there.
Definitely.
Where, like, the devs would be like, no, it is way better than this, trust me. Like, you just have to buy it when it comes out. This is based on an old build. Maybe they'll have a notice on there when it sort of, like, comes out to say this is an old build.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not far off now, is it?
No, I'm not sure what the date. What does it say the date is on there?
I think it's somewhere around the end of February, isn't it?
That's not long at all.
Because I think I was quite lucky because I know I'm going to be working like around the middle of February, and I think it comes out towards the end of February, so I won't have to sort of be sat at work annoyed that I can't play it.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, you'll all have a free game to play next week anyway, a lot of you on Xbox.
What's out next week then?
Sniper Elite Resistance.
Oh, right. Didn't even know.
I believe. And I think it's a Game Pass game. I believe it's a Game Pass game anyway. I think it's out on like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Right.
Maybe even earlier if you buy the Super Deluxe.
Oh, because I quite enjoyed playing the last one with Peeps in co-op.
Yeah, they're fantastic games, the Sniper Elites. I mean, you have to kind of get used to them. Because it was like my mate Goose, he played, I think it was Sniper Elite 4. It was one of the ones where they first added the overhead planes going over, and you were supposed to only shoot when the planes are going over because it masks your shot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all the enemies are like, there he is, and like send the fucking troops off to like stamp on your head.
Oh yeah.
And he said he kept getting destroyed because he didn't know how to play the game properly. But
the 30th of January, Sniper Elite Resistance. Yeah, man, nice.
Yeah, like my mate's looking forward to that. He's a full on, and this is a weird one because when I was obviously looking through it, because I may or may not pick this up because I've really enjoyed the last one. I noticed it's still got the invasion mode.
What's that? So Sniper Elite.
Yeah, so basically when you was playing, you could have the option to say yes or no to basically allow yourself to be invaded by a player who will pose as an enemy sniper and hide in the map to try and take you out.
Oh, right. How annoying.
Yes and no. Like, my mate used to really enjoy doing it, and you could actually unlock weapons and level up and stuff by doing that.
Cool.
But this game, for some strange reason, has a 16-player competitive multiplayer mode.
I'm sure they've done that in the past, though, with other ones.
Have they?
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
I mean, like I said to my mate, I said that could be interesting, but it might be one of them ones where you kind of like you're sitting there, you're all in your perfect spot, you're getting ready to snipe someone, and everyone's just running around with like what do you call it? It's like
Uzis and
the little I've forgotten the name of the gun. God, it's the Tommy gun, but it's not
the Thompson.
Yeah, that's it, the Thompson, and like the good old MP44 and all that.
Yeah.
MP40, sorry, MP40. MP40 was the shit in
Wolfenstein?
Call of Duty 3.
Oh, Call of Duty 3. Jeez, yeah.
Call of Duty 3 multiplayer, mate. You're always like, yes, with the Germans MP40.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you out of rounds, little man, with your Thompson, because it only had like a 20-round clip.
Yeah.
And that was it. Reloading. Oh, sorry, mate, I got more in my MP40. Oh. So yeah, it's not actually it's just Resistance, isn't it? So it's not actually a full-on numbered title.
No.
This is like kind of one of the in-betweens. But I think I've enjoyed every kind of Sniper Elite game.
Oh yeah, they're all fun. Yeah.
Even like the Zombie Army ones are fan-bloody-tastic.
Oh well. Yeah. Yeah, bloody well good.
And if it's like the last one, there was a lot to do.
Yeah.
The last one, like I remember on the maps, like all the different sub-quests and things for you to try and do, like find all the different collectibles and other bits and bobs. Oh, there's also a co-op mode as well, like a co-op horde mode.
Oh, really? Oh, weird.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. Where are we? Yeah, if competition isn't your style, you can also team up with 3 other players against waves of enemies in survival mode.
Cool.
Locate unique propaganda posters across the main campaign missions and then step into the shoes of French resistance fighters in all new propaganda missions.
Oh, nice. That sounds cool.
During these extra scenarios, sneak, snipe and take down enemies to complete time-sensitive objectives and help end Nazi occupation.
Nice.
So it sounds like it's going to have a fair bit to it.
Cool.
But they're quite busy, aren't they, Rebellion? Because they've got that awesome-looking Atomfall coming out as well, haven't they?
Oh, is that them, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Wow.
That's going to be a Game Pass game as well.
Yeah, I think that's out. I just saw it.
End of March.
Yeah, it's not long.
My birthday. I was like, oh, English, old school Fallout style of game. Yeah. I'm in. English countryside with red foam booths and that.
I'm surprised that Expedition 33 is coming to Game Pass because I didn't think it was. And yeah, that's
cool. Oh no, I remember them. I think when it was first announced, they said it was. Nice. They obviously had approached the studio and scooped it up. It's a French group, is it? Or French studio, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Game is very, very heavily French inspired and everything, which is cool because it's nice to get different types of developers from all over the world finally involved. I mean, you've got more and more games coming from China nowadays, and to be honest, they're pretty damn good.
Oh no, that's the worry, isn't it?
Outside of the phone games. Well, I'm sorry if you're a Western game developer and you're just pumping out shit nobody wants, then you deserve for someone to come over and start eating your food.
Yeah, well, I just need to learn from it and stop pumping out good games again, especially Ubisoft. You know, so we'll see.
But yeah, on to the news anyway.
Yeah, there's been quite a bit of news this week. Yeah, so there's been quite a few articles I've noticed this week about Grand Theft Auto 6, which is still apparently coming out this year.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing that, yeah.
But there's lots of rumours going around that it's going to be the first video game to cost £100. And apparently what they're saying is there's hope in the video game industry that they do sell it for £100 because then other studios are going to start to follow suit.
And they will be fucked if they do, because I'm sorry... That is the only video game that could get away with that.
Yeah.
I think it is literally the only video game to get away with that. Because even if people are like, no, I'm not paying that, no, as soon as that game comes out, or it's nearing the time and the hype starts building and people are playing it and everyone's going to be like, oh, you know what, I caved.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, if you're like some random fucking EA whatever, and you're gonna think that you're gonna start charging £100 for the shit you put out. No, mate, ain't gonna fly.
Yeah,
you're just gonna end up selling even less copies than what you sell now. Like the easiest way round it, I know I've probably mentioned this before. Cut your fucking budgets.
Well, Grand Theft Auto is like a once in a fucking 10-year plus thing, isn't it?
But you hear about a lot of these Sony games, and it was like, oh, it's cost $200+ million to make. And you're like, all right. And then like something like Black Myth comes out, and that didn't cost anywhere near $200 million.
Yeah, but I think the problem is,
as far as I'm aware,
I think some of the problem is that
Embezzlement. It's got to be.
Well, no, there's too much.
Where's all this money going?
Well, I was talking to someone about this the other day, and we were saying there's too much focus. They listen to the vocal minority, and I'm sorry, it is a vocal minority online of people.
That can be taken either way.
I want every game to be at least 4K, 60 FPS. And a lot of the best-selling games every year are like indie games, which look like 16-bit games.
To be honest, I think they might be getting around that with like your DLSS and your PSSR and stuff. You can just make a 1080 60 and then have the AI like upscaler work to boost the resolution.
Do you know what the most popular resolution is for PC gamers still?
1440p.
No.
Oh, is it still 1080?
1080p is the most popular resolution on PC, even today.
But then again, you're talking about someone who might only have like a 21-inch widescreen. And if you're playing in on a screen that small, 1080 is going to look fine.
Yeah, but even still, right, I know like we go on about resolutions.
It's only good when you've got like a big 50, 60-inch telly.
Yeah,
like if I had a 30-inch TV, it'd be pointless having a 4K because you wouldn't notice it.
But even Switch games still look good on, a big 4K TV, and they're only 1080p or less. I mean, not everything is about the resolution.
A lot of the modern TVs do have like a kind of upscaler built in them as well. So,
well, that's where the budgets are going.
One thing on modern TVs that does need to fucking piss off, and I mean absolutely piss the fuck off.
What's that?
And that is that shitty like TV thing, where it's like a frame gen for TVs.
All right.
And when you're watching films, it makes them look like they're filmed on someone's camera phone.
Oh, I've not seen that. Is it like a mode that automatically turns on or something?
It's kind of like a weird. I don't know what it's called. It's called something different on every single make of television. It basically makes all of your films and stuff that should be running at like 28 FPS, like run at like 50 or something, and it makes it look shitty as hell.
Oh, weird. Oh,
it's awful. Like my mate on his telly, he's got an LG. He can't figure out how to turn it off.
Oh.
And every time I take a film down his house to watch, we're like, and then as soon as he sticks it on, I'm like, oh, fucking hell. I forgot your telly's shit. And it now looks horrendous. Like, so I've got to sit there playing.
What was
looking like it's filmed through a camera?
Yeah, just cycling back to Grand Theft Auto though, is it does like I'm hoping it doesn't, because they make so much money from the online, like silly money.
How much does this game cost to make though? Like,
oh no, but they'll recoup it back easy just from sales alone, and then they'll make back even more from fucking online. Shark cards and all that bullshit.
They could proper drop the ball with this. Like, if it's like far too PC, like as in politically correct, I think people are going to get pissed.
I don't think it will be. I mean, there is some worry out there. Be.
Like, you've always, like, everything should be up for, like, having the mickey taken.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way things generally always have been. But then again, it was just like rumours, wasn't it? Like, oh, they're cutting down on this. They're trying not to be as offensive. And I was like, what was offensive in GTA? Like, if it was offensive, it was there to be joke offensive, I guess. I don't really take most things in a GTA thing sort of super serious, because it's never really sort of like portrayed in that sense of a way.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
There's always had like a comical overtone with it, even with like Trevor's like tripping out and he's like killing like mad clowns and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to take that seriously. It's there for just a weird sort of joke.
Yeah.
You're not like, oh, that's really upsetting against people with real mental disorders. And it's like, what are you on about, mate? Like, it's a game.
Oh dear. Right, yeah. So that's Grand Theft Auto, mate. We'll see. I hope it isn't £100, but you never know.
I think it could skate around that, and even if it's not £100, they will do a version of it that is £100. So it might. I could probably see GTA doing the classic, like, play it early and like if you buy this edition kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's been so long since the last game, I don't even think that type of business model existed on the last on GTA 5. But yeah, I think the companies are going to be a bit shocked at how many less copies of games they sell if they think they can just put out something and charge £100. But if they're selling us games where the whole thing's on the disc, there's no added DLC or fucking paid for added on content and everything's there day one, then that might throw a bit of sway with people. But I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah. Hey, Jawdog just put a comment in the Twitch saying it was pretty wild in Grand Theft Auto 3 when you could beat the hooker to get your money back.
That's always the one excuse they always use, don't they?
Oh no, yeah.
You know when they talk about, GTA is so violent. Look, you can take this prostitute out, get her services, and then kill her and take your money back. And it's evil, and it's like, can you come up with something else? Because like, that's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It always comes out. Like, yeah, I could understand. Like, yeah, there's a load of kids in the game now, and you can drive a fucking bus into the school playground. Like, that would actually be something that would sort of like make the headlines and such. Yeah. But yeah. And at the end of the day, I don't think any kid who's played GTA has actually probably gone out and done that in real life.
No, well, you never know, mate. But yeah.
Well, there's always maybe one, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, most people are normal. They don't do that kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm going to move on, mate. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I already mentioned it earlier. There's a load of clickbait articles online about it being torrented 173,000 times. I'm going to say that's a load of bullshit. There is no way to know how many times a game has been torrented. But it's one of the rare times that Square Enix have put a game out without Denuvo, the anti-piracy technology in the game.
I actually wonder if, like, fair enough, yeah, they are going to lose sales. Could it have been a little bit of a faith move?
What do you mean?
Well, say you're a massive Final Fantasy fan.
Yeah.
You would have bought it on the PC if it had come out at the same time as it came out on the PlayStation.
100%.
It didn't.
Yeah.
You bought it on the PlayStation instead.
Yeah.
And now you're like, I want it on the PC, but I ain't fucking paying for it again.
Yeah. Even though the price of it on online is fucking really good. It is $32.99.
That's not bad.
Which is really good price. Yeah. But I don't know where this story's come from. Yes, it got cracked and went onto pirate sites the day it came out. I know this. But so what? Every fucking game is fucking pirated all the fucking time. You know what I mean? I don't know why this particular game is such big news. I don't get it. So, you know, like your Dynasty Warriors game that you were talking about the other week, well, that's on there. I could download that if I wanted. You know? It's just part and parcel of PC gaming. Yeah. But their games on PC still sell fucking shitloads. So, yeah. Because in my mind, the people that are going to pirate games are the people that aren't really going to buy them anyway. So, mountain out of a molehill. Anyway, on other Final Fantasy VII news, the next part 3, the final part of 7, it apparently, take this news how you want it, the devs have come out and said that it's not going to be a PlayStation exclusive. So a lot of people are saying that they reckon it's going to come out on all platforms on launch day, which would be nice. I still want to see them come to Xbox, though. They still haven't made it there. But it would be nice to see it come to everything on launch. The only way they could actually really do that is if they release the previous 2 on Xbox by the point that one comes out. But then you might still find
that technically it's not an exclusive anyway still. Like, it's one of those kind of games where it's just like, you just wait a year and it comes to the other platforms. There's no big deal for it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it's because it's the last one. It would kind of be weird if PlayStation didn't have a deal for the last game if they had one for the first and second.
Yeah.
And they definitely did sell extra consoles and stuff due to that. And there's like people that I know of that bought a PS4 Pro or PS5 Pro solely for Rebirth.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot way better on the Pro than it was for the standard PS5. So they were like, oh, I wanted it, so I waited and I just got the thing and played it on that.
Yeah. Cool. Right, next. There's been some more leaks regarding the Switch 2 and games. There's a leak that says there's going to be a new 3D Super Mario game for the Switch 2 and a Zelda remake, but they're not sure which Zelda it is.
I would say I'd go for Twilight Princess is probably the only one they haven't done yet. Going along the next lot of things, and that game was like pretty well done.
Yeah.
Because wasn't that the one that was available on the
Wii?
The GameCube? I want to say the GameCube, and then the Wii.
I think,
at the same set of time.
Because it had that annoying thing on the Wii with the controller. You had to use the Move controller thing, I think. If I recall right, it might have been something else. I can't remember.
No, you're thinking of Skyward Sword, maybe.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Which has been remade, hasn't it, recently?
Oh, okay.
Changed some of that.
Did you hear some other stuff about the new Mario Kart?
Do you know how many copies that the last one sold on the Switch?
Of what? Mario Kart?
Mario Kart.
Go on.
Look up the amount of sales. I can't remember what it is, but look up how many copies Mario Kart has sold on the Switch.
Mario Kart Switch sales. 62.9 million units. Bloody hell. That's from June last year. Up to June last. Jesus Christ.
That's an insane number for an exclusive game for one system as well.
Fucking hell. But isn't the Switch now like the best-selling console of all time or something?
I think it's bordering around the PS2 sort of mark. I think some of that was kind of poo-pooed, but it is definitely up there as like almost like one of, if not the best.
But apparently,
like, even think of that. Like 62 million copies of that sold.
Yeah.
Even if the game, like the Wii U, had sold like 150 million units or whatnot, that means at least every 1 out of 3 owners has that game.
Yeah, because it says here the Switch has sold over 146 million units worldwide. Wow. And
that game is a remake of a Wii game. Or
I know.
Wii U game.
I know. It's fucking mad, isn't it? So apparently, right, we saw the trailer of the new Mario Kart in that Switch 2 announcement.
Yes.
There's a lot of pondering online. It looks like it might be an open world game, a bit like a Forza Horizon.
No.
I don't think it's going to be like that. Cause do you think they'll change up the model that much?
Maybe. I suppose having a bit of exploration around, like if you could explore all of the different lands that each of the tracks are based upon, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially if it unlocked extra like characters and sort of like paint jobs and different things like that, customizations.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Mario Kart was like basically Nintendo's Fortnite. Basically.
Yeah. Crazy. Right, oh yeah, so that I saw this bit of news and it made me laugh. Elon Musk has been saying on podcasts and stuff like that he's an expert Diablo 4 player and an expert Path of Exile 2 player. Well, he's finally admitted that he isn't. He's been paying someone to boost his accounts.
Why would you even do that, though?
I don't know. Like, I just fucking... Like, everyone knew that he was boosting his accounts because he's such a busy guy. You know what I mean? With his companies
with the
and shit.
Diablo 4 stuff, yeah, maybe, because that game is very sort of pick up and play, but Path of Exile was like some serious brainstorming shit and stuff with that.
I just don't know why, because he went out, because there was some stuff going online where people were accusing him. Some big YouTuber accused him of...
gold.
Yeah, and then he, like... got rid of his blue tick on Twitter for a week or something before he gave it back to him.
I think that was apparently a mistake from like changing the profile. Do you remember like years ago if you got verified on Twitter, like if you changed your profile picture, like you'd lose your verification or something?
Oh, right, okay.
I think it was something weird to do with something along those things, but you never really know.
Yeah.
Maybe it kind of was a little bit of a... called me out on that one and stuff. But...
yeah. Oh dear. Well, I just thought that was quite funny. Okay, other news. Oh yes. So this is going on from what I was saying last week with some news about PC gaming becoming more popular than console gaming. It says here there's a new thing come out. A survey has found that 80% of developers are now making games for PC, more than double the number working on PlayStation and Xbox. Which again, and I mentioned last week, I find quite funny in a way, because you go back a few years and there was all these articles saying, oh, the death of PC gaming is among us because of console gaming, and now like PC gaming has become kind of like the most popular platform, you know?
It's because the consoles, when they were like, oh, PC gaming's dead, we best copy PC then.
Yeah. You know, I think now is kind of the best time to be a PC gamer, because you're getting the best of all worlds with, you know, all these exclusives coming to PC from PlayStation and Xbox now.
Not all, just some.
Most, I would say. Like, even like you got your God of Wars, your Horizon Zero Dawns, bloody Last of Us, Spider-Man... You know, all those big PlayStation games, you know?
No Bloodborne, no Demon's Souls.
Yeah, true. But it's getting there. So I just found that quite interesting. And while we're on PC, the 50 series cards, I think, are out this week. And I called this out. Last fucking week, and I've been calling it out in Discord since the announcement. There was all this rumbling, oh, the new 5070 is going to be more powerful than the 4090. And I called out and said, look, it's all AI up-resing.
Yes, I've heard apparently a load of them were basically saying that, you know, they were basically going, oh, like the FPS boost.
Yes,
It's all frame gen.
Yeah, it's all fake.
It's not real frames. It's just fake bullshit. Like, so, like, people were literally saying this, like, there and then.
Yeah.
Like, you're not actually getting, like, 200 and something FPS. You're getting, like, the standard rate, but it's just using bullshit to make it look like it's going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, I suppose, you're not really going to notice, like, say if you're running something at 120 and it's being displayed over that, you're not really going to notice too much.
I just hate the way that
60 is running something at 30 or something.
I hate the way they're selling it. You know, I hate, because I called this out straight away, because I was like, there's no fucking way that's going to happen. And being a PC gamer, I know not every game uses this DLSS upscaling. So I was like, so in my mind, and I was talking to one of my mates last week about this, I was like, What about a game that doesn't have the DLSS then? Like, how much of a performance boost are you going to get then? And so this Tech Radar put an article out saying 2 non-DLSS games have been tested, and there's only a 15% uplift from the 4080 to the 5080.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, but still, it's not.
Because the prices are reasonable, aren't they, for these cards?
Yeah,
They're
but
not,
it's
like, ridiculous, like the last lot.
Yeah, but it's still false advertising, and I hate that, because it's like when PlayStation announced the PS5 and all over the box it says fucking 8K, 60 FPS.
8K, 120, 120, mate.
120, you know, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like it's mis-selling. It does my tits in.
I don't know if it super is, because I think there was 1 or 2 games that did actually run at 8K but 120.
Well, they've taken it off.
Stick Fighter Simulator or something.
Well, they've taken off the boxes now, haven't they?
Yeah.
But, you know, yes, there is an improvement in technology with the new AI technology and the chips and all that to fucking boost your resolution, fake resolution and your fake frames and all that.
The resolution bumps are good, but again, there is a downside to that sometimes. So it can cause on quick movements and stuff.
Yeah. And shimmering. And so like on
artifacting, yeah.
So like on Black Myth Wukong, I was around my mates last weekend, and he was like, "Oh, he's got a 3090, and he was playing Black Myth on his telly." And he was like, "Oh, you know, like fiddling with the settings and that." And I was like, "Mate, like," and he was like, "Look at the shimmering on the grass. It looked awful, you know, because it was running the DLSS and you get different versions of it. You got performance, balanced, quality.
Yeah, using ray tracing on whatchamacallit, Dragon's Dogma 2 on the PS5 Pro causes shimmering in certain areas and stuff, and you're like, I just won't have that on then.
Well, so I said to him, why are you using the DLSS anyway? You got a decent card. Like, turn it off. Fucking turn it off. So turned it off. Well, he left it on, but it was on this I think it was like DOAA, where it doesn't down res the resolution and bring it up again. It like keeps it at its default resolution, so it's pure 4K. And it's like, there's no shimmering on the grass. I was like, there you go then. And you're running at 60. What's your problem? So, you know, it just annoys me that there isn't this uplift in grunt performance anymore. It's all fake shit and it's pointless.
I mean, at the end of the day, we still have to look at the fact that this is still a reasonably new technology.
Yeah, of course.
Still, I mean, I imagine the DLSS on PC is going to be pretty much like the PSSR on PlayStation. It can be fondled and upgraded and stuff with updates and changed. So things will improve, but at the moment it is causing like weird sort of issues, I think, because it is a new sort of thing. But it will help gaming in the long run, like you said, because games will no longer have to sort of like, oh, we've got to develop this to be running at native 4K, etc., or maybe even higher. Like years down the line, they can just develop it at 1080.
Yeah,
which everything is compatible with, and then just use these other tools to literally upscale it. Because the upscalers, as far as the actual upscaling goes, do a bloody good job.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, I don't know, a big part of me's like, I've had my graphics card for 4 and a bit years now, and it's perfect. Like, I don't feel like I need to upgrade anything, and I'm just like, kind of look at these new cards, I'm like, meh. You know what I mean? So.
I was going to say, like, one of the guys I watch on YouTube a fair bit, he like mainly just PC games, but most of the things he runs stuff on a 3090 or a 3080 or something.
Yeah.
And he says he still manages to get stuff at high and everything, but I think he said he plays most of his stuff in 1080. And if he's connected to a monitor and everything, that's perfectly fine. You're only going to really notice if you're playing on like a 48-inch, like big screen TV downstairs, and you're like sat pretty close to it.
Yeah. My last thing is, you didn't watch the Dev Direct from Xbox, did you?
No, I was gonna, but it was like I was eating at the time.
Yeah. So they showed Ninja Gaiden 4.
Yeah, that was the unknown announced game, wasn't it?
Which looks pretty cool. And they also released the same time Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which is the remaster of 2. Which is quite cool.
I think that's already been remastered as well. Unless it's Ninja Gaiden Black back then. It might have actually been. I've got it on the Vita, I believe.
Oh, right, yeah. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, yeah. So Ninja Gaiden 4, though, looks pretty cool. Hack and slash. What more can you say? It's Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 Plus, it was called.
Right.
On the Vita.
Nice. So yeah, that looks quite cool. They talked about South of Midnight, which I think has an interesting art style for sure. It's kind of that clay stop motion, a bit like Trapdoor. You remember that? Under my trapdoor.
Oh, of course I remember Trapdoor, a bit of Willie Rushton.
But I don't know, mate. I'd need to see more on it, but I don't know if it's really going to be my kind of game, but I think it looks very pretty.
You get to test it because it's Game Pass, obviously.
Yeah, it looks very pretty, and it's got like kind of a magical kind of vibe to it. A bit like, kind of reminds me of Fable a little bit, just a tad, but yeah, I don't know. The gameplay just looked a bit clunky and shit from what they were showing, but yeah, it looked quite interesting. Expedition 33. They showed a lot more of that. I mean, I'm looking forward to this because it's pure turn-based combat, which is really cool.
The only thing I'm worried about with this game,
go on,
is it looks to be quite miserable. When it comes to the storyline, I haven't seen any kind of it's all like covered in blood, screaming, crying, like sort of depressing kind of sort of thing.
Yeah. It's it's an interesting story though, isn't it?
It's cool. Again, it's got that kind of weird steampunky sort of aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
And again, this could be a fantastic demonstration in how you do turn-based combat, but keep it interesting and dynamic rather than it just being player jumps forward, attacks, enemy jumps back.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to play it and see what it's like. But I just like the vibe of the story, the whole this witch turns up and every year there's a big number on this island and it ticks down every year and everyone over that age dies instantly. And that expedition's going out to try and stop her. I just found it sounds just quite cool. It's just interesting story and yeah. And then
the one I'm looking forward to. That's end of April, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah. And then they showed off Doom: The Dark Ages, which is interesting because it has no multiplayer. It's purely.
I was going to say, didn't they just add the multiplayer into the last one?
Can't remember.
I don't remember the first one actually having it, because I know one of the season passes for one of the Dooms, it was either the Doom reboot or Doom Eternal that had like multiplayer stuff as part of the season pass.
Oh, okay. But anyway, so there's no multiplayer, but they're saying it's a prequel to Doom 2016, and it's more Doom. So you just run around killing monsters and shit.
Bloody hell, actually, just thinking about it.
Oh, excuse me. I tried to mute my microphone, but I didn't mute it in time.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, just that's kind of mad. Just thinking of the fact that obviously the sort of Doom reboot is almost 10 years old.
Yeah.
And the God of War reboot as well, because I'm pretty sure that was 2016 as well. Oh, speaking of which, have we talked about all of like the random cancelled PlayStation Studios shite?
Did we talk about it last week or not? I can't remember.
I
think we might have done. There was loads of their games have been cancelled, haven't they?
Yeah,
I'm
because
sure we mentioned it last week.
Once again, it's almost like a case of companies not listening to what the customers actually want.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they announced, PlayStation Studios are going to start investing heavily into games as a service, there was like a collective groan that literally echoed up from the inner depths of the earth, and they didn't hear it.
Yeah.
And then they literally released one live service game that literally just tripped over its own feet straight out the gate, and they've suddenly pulled everything back.
Yeah, I'm sure we talked about them last week. There's been quite a lot of PlayStation cancellations, hasn't there? I'm sure, because I'm sure that news went into the Discord. Yeah, on the 18th, I put it on there. Yeah, was that?
Right,
yeah, that was last Saturday. Yeah. Concord, an unannounced God of War game, Last of Us multiplayer, Spider-Man 2 multiplayer, a Ben Studio multiplayer game, Twisted Metal, a London studio game, a Deviation Games game, and a game called Payback, which was a third-person Destiny spin-off from Bungie. All of those games cancelled.
I'm still fucking pissed that they turned Bluepoint onto a God of War fucking multiplayer game. Like live service game. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Did you not see what a magnificent job they did with Shadow of the Colossus and Demon Souls? And then you stick them on that. It was also announced this week they cancelled a Horizon MMO, didn't they?
Oh, yes, they did, didn't they? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that's due to the fact that Lego Horizon sold like...
shit.
Yeah, basically. I don't know what it did on console. I know on PC it didn't do hardly anything.
Well, it's aimed at kids, and kids don't really play those games. It's not a kid's game, is it?
Yeah, maybe they were thinking, like, if we release it around the time, people will buy it for their kids over Christmas and stuff.
Oh, I did notice as well that if you've got PS Plus, God of War Ragnarok is on there now.
That's fine. I mean, I still don't think they kind of really recovered from Helldivers 2. That was the one game that did actually accomplish what they set out to do.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we've baked this really beautiful cake. Everyone's really enjoying it. Look, everyone's feasting down. And Sony came along and went, let's stick our dick in it.
Yeah.
Oh, we've lost half the players.
Oh, dear. See you later, then. That's all my news, Darren. Well, we've managed to go for over 2 hours, just the two of us, which is quite impressive.
That's not bad, considering we both hardly played anything either.
There's been a lot of news, though, which has been quite good. So,
not all good news, albeit, but
it's good to have news. Yeah, good to have news.
Oh, there was a news story, wasn't there? Do you remember? Oh, you probably even mentioned it before. There's some PlayStation game coming out, isn't there? It doesn't look great. Let's be real.
What's it
called?
But
there was controversy about it. I can't even remember what it was called. Scarlet something maybe rings a bell. It's sort of like a Dino Crisis-y type of game with a female protagonist during like a dinosaur thing. And they stated that they didn't want to release it on the PC because...
Scarlet... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, we talked about this a few weeks ago, actually. I'm sure we did.
Yeah,
Scarlet Nexus, isn't it?
Before. Maybe.
No, that's an old game. No, I saw something about that on Twitter, actually, again, yesterday. I can't remember the name of the game, though, off the top of my head. It's blanked for me. But I know what you mean.
I did actually see the other day as well, like a new announcement of like new content for No Rest for the Wicked.
Oh, okay, nice.
And also on the end of the trailer, it had PS5 and Xbox, so it is obviously coming to those platforms because it's just PC only at the moment, I believe.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Which is kind of weird because it was the Ori Will-o'-the-Wisp slot, wasn't it, that made it?
Yeah.
And obviously they started off on Xbox and then that came out and it was like, oh, it's just on the PC for now.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, that's got that cool sort of shaded art style and look to it and everything.
Yeah.
Like a pretty game for what it is.
Yeah. Wow. Good times,
at least
mate.
you'll have some new stuff to talk about next week if you're going to try out Sniper.
Well, we'll see if I can get myself off ARMA Reforger, mate. That is my addiction at the minute. Good or bad. Bad for the podcast, but good to be hooked on a game like this. It's a good feeling.
I'm sure no one got sick of me talking about Final Fantasy 14 for like a decade.
Yeah, it's just really annoying because I resubbed and then a week later I'm hooked on something else. I mean, at least I managed to finish the story on 14, like the new story. So I need to finish off the Hildebrand.
Did you do? Oh, you did the raid, didn't you?
Oh no, I didn't actually. So I need to do the raid.
The 24-man raid.
No, I've not done that either.
So
it's just finding the time to get away from ARMA, unfortunately.
You played 11, didn't you? I think.
Yes.
Yeah, so this one is, I think it's 11 themed again.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Very nice. Cool. I think on that note, Darren, I think we're done. It's been good. Good times. Good times, mate. All right. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's listened live on the Twitch. Thank you so much for sticking with us for this 2 hours. For everyone else, thank you very much. Big thank you to all the Patreons. Without you, this show wouldn't happen. You're all super awesome. You can listen live every Sunday night, 7:30 at twitch.tv/Webby360G or at patreon.com/360gamercast. So from me and Darren, it's been awesome as always. We shall see you next week. Goodbye.